Hello, welcome to Bristol City Church Daily Encouragement. My name's Peter Linden and I am part of the Cottam site of Bristol City Church. A few weeks ago we invited Mr. Simon Miles, otherwise known as the Bristol Garden Advisor, to come and help us to know what to do to help our garden to flourish, and in fact to do one of his walk and talk sessions with us so that we could go around the garden and he could tell us about everything we needed to know. Well, it was on the day, it was too wet, so we sat in our conservatory, but he did the same thing. We went round talking about each plant and what it needed, when it needed to be pruned, what was the name, what would help it. And it was great. When it came to the subject of feeding the plants, I was expecting it to be pretty complicated, so we'd got paper and pen out and we were going to take detailed notes of the best way to feed it, when to feed it, what particular thing it needed in that plant. And we were amazed when he said, no, actually at this stage you don't need to do any of that. Just what you need to do is get compost and heap it on all around the flower beds, and especially around the base of those plants that you are particularly keen to see flourish. Well, seemed to be too good to be true. We didn't have to dig it in. We didn't have to kind of time it to precision. We could just do it straight away, and that's what we did. We heaped on the compost, and especially around those plants that we particularly wanted to flourish. It occurred to me that the very same is true of prayer. That actually what we're called to do is to heap prayer on those things that we care about. At one point Jesus said to his disciples, people ought always to pray and never give up. And it's something that we're always to do. Another place, he made a wonderful promise. The disciples had asked her, how should we pray? And he said, when you pray, go into your own room, shut the door, and pray to your Father who you can't see. You can't see him, but he hears you, and he will reward you. So this Father who's unseen, he does hear, and he does reward us. So with this wonderful promise, it's like that. We heap prayer on those things that we care about. We're called to do that and not to give up. It won't always be that we'll get the answer immediately. It won't always be that it occurs in just the exact way we thought. In fact, it might be mysterious how it all works out. But this we can be sure of. Jesus himself has given us, those who follow him, this promise that as we go into private, as we pray to the Father, he will reward us. Very similar to the plants, we heap on the compost, and so by some mysterious process, the plants flourish. And they flourish beautifully. And the same advice, the same comment is true for prayer. About all those things that we care about our family, about our friends, about those in trouble, about our neighbours, about our work colleagues, praying for those things to happen that we long for, the opportunity to share the hope that we have. Heap on the prayer. Go to your Father who's unseen, because we have this promise. And just as we, in a small human way, put our trust in Simon Miles and his good advice, in due course, we saw a result. We have our reward. How much more true is the promise of Jesus that as we heap prayer on those things that we're concerned about, he will reward us. So that's my encouragement for today. Heap on the prayer.